yeah, this video, is me, talking and saying what I think. So my God can hear what I feel and what I'm saying. I have a marriage license, and some people said that they wanted to kill me, is what they said they wanted to do, and it was a person at this hotel, and it was some people at the hotel that was being mean and talking about jobs and money and stuff like that. And it was some people that said they not supposed to have a business or a job or any money or bad stuff was going to happen to them, is what, the energy, the voices, and it's what it feels like somebody, was saying. And that is not my fault, because whatever they did, they shouldn't have did it. And they said, like, the police officer friends and the people that's in their group or whatever, they said it was, it was some people that said it's a different kind of God, and that if the world ended and if everybody died and stuff like that, that, it's because of what other people did. Because when I said I'm not sure where my wife is, and I'm not sure where my children are, and I'm not sure if, people said, that stuff because they were mad or because of whatever reasons that they did. But it was like, for every day that I was locked up, for every time I was molested, for every time I was abused, for every time somebody did something bad to my wife, for every time somebody did something bad to my children, for every time somebody said they don't believe in my God, for every time somebody said they was going to get somebody to do something to me, for every time somebody did stuff to me, for every time somebody called somebody else, whether it was a police officer or a group or a gang, and they did bad stuff to me or tried to get me in trouble, it was some people that said, or some voices or some beings or some kind of energy that said, if the whole world end, and if it is such a God, and it happens that way, and if I wanted to do something to stop it, I said, no, I don't want to get involved in the situation, because, ever since March 4th, 1984, when anybody could have said something about what was going on, when anybody could have did something, when anybody could have said that, the same way I didn't do any of this stuff to anybody, it's no excuse for why they did that stuff to me. I don't know of one person that ever told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about what happened to me and about what was did to me. So if they said, if you don't know not one person that actually told the truth about this stuff, and the world ended, because they said if you was the guy that would have to say, something about the situation, then, and if you said you didn't know anyone that, told the truth or whatever about what they did to you and stuff, and if bad stuff happened to everybody or the world ended because of it would not be because of me, and it's not my fault. And they said, well, would you try to save the people that did bad stuff to you, that didn't tell the truth? Like, would you try to would you say that it's okay what they did to you? And I was like, what they did to me was bad. What they did to me was wrong. And whatever happened to them for the bad stuff they did to me, I don't know why they did it, you know. I was told my wife, you know, you know, has a say in the matter. Because having a marriage license, they say, what's best for my marriage? And I would say, hey, I gotta ask my wife about what she think is best for my marriage. And since I'm not sure what my wife is, and I'm not sure what she's doing, you know, if she said that she wanted the world to end for what they did to me, then I guess it's what she said. If the children said they wanted everybody to go to the lake of fire for what they did to me, then I guess the way that they feel about it, you know, is the way that they feel about it. And if they ask me how do I feel about it, I'm not trying to make a bad choice. I'm not trying to make a bad decision. I have a marriage license. If it's a such thing as the end of the world, you know, everybody dying, you know, then maybe they shouldn't have did what they did, you know. I was never told to save the world, you know. I was told that it's people that say that they own businesses and that they're not allowed to own businesses. And it was people that this hotel, it was people that the Making Inn Hotel, and it was people that the Making Inn Hotel, the 1044 Riverside Drive. It was people at the Baymont Hotel on Riverside Drive. It was people at the Chasers Hotel on Riverside Drive. It was people at the Haven Inn and Suites on Riverside Drive. It was people at the United Suites, you know. It was like those people can't own hotels, and it's because of what they did that bad stuff is happening, and it's because they want to have a business in it, they want to have money in it, they not allowed to do that, and it's nothing that they can do to change the energy of what they did. Because if they need me to say yes or no, I'm not part of it. I'm not saying yes or no. Whatever bad stuff they did, they shouldn't have done it. They said if I had a choice to change the situation by saying yes or no, you know, in them situations and stuff, I don't know what they talking about. I don't understand what it is that they saying. If they said it was some aliens or some different kind of guides and everybody would die because they did bad stuff to me and that they needed me to forgive them, I say no. If you're not my wife, if you're not my children, and if you're claiming that you're married and don't care about me, and if you're claiming that you're in a relationship and don't care about me, and if you're claiming you own your own business and don't care about me, and if you didn't tell the truth about what they did to me, and if you didn't tell the truth about those families and those people, it's not my fault what happens. You know, it doesn't matter what group you're in, what gang you're in, what your job is, or how many years ago it was, or if it was a long time ago. It doesn't matter what your shape is, what your size is, what color you are, how much money you got, where you came from, what planet you're from, what year you were born in. Whatever you did with your soul, with your energy, with your spirit, or, stuff like that, that you did and that you chose to do, to give up something in exchange for it is what you did. I don't know how any of this stuff works. And I don't want to get in trouble. Nobody ever asked me to give my soul in exchange for something. Nobody ever asked me to give my spirit in exchange for something. I never made those kind of deals. So if people made deals of giving their soul or giving their energy, their spirit or whatever in exchange for something, and somebody told you those words and you made some kind of deal with them, whether it was for talents, your own business, a job, money, and stuff like that, and they said it was some kind of contract or whatever, and you knowed about it when you did it, and you asked to give your soul in exchange for something, I don't know how any of this stuff works. I never asked to give my soul in exchange for something. I never did. So, I'm not really sure. People taught me a lot of crazy stuff that I'm not really sure about. If you built a house or you built a world or you built a business or you built a system and bad stuff happened and it involves your soul or your spirit or some kind of death, and you planned it and you knowed about it and it's because of something that you did, and if it was not self-defense, and if it was not projected, and if it wasn't something that someone else made you do, and it wasn't something that someone else forced you to do, and if it wasn't something that somebody tricked you into doing, or, because, they say they were smarter than you or stuff like that, and I don't know what happens in them situations because I'm not that smart. I was sexually abused, you know. They said bad stuff, you know, would happen to the people that, you know, said they was rich or famous and stuff and got mad at me for the stuff that I said and they tried to do bad stuff to me. They said if they tried to do bad stuff to me, they can't have a business. They can't have any property or money or land or any of that stuff is what they said, you know. And that it's because of them that they said bad stuff is happening because they tried to keep money anyway, is what some people said. They tried to keep a business anyway, is what people said. And it was like all of the bad stuff that they already did to me. And it was like when I went to jail, it was other people there. When I went to court, it was other people there. It was like when they took people children from them, it was other people children that got took from them. So they was like, they did too much bad stuff to too many people, and it's too many spirits and too many different species, and it's too many different types of situations that I don't know about. And since it was not my ideal, I'm not smart enough knowing what to do about any of that stuff. Somebody asked me, did you make any friends? Was there anybody? I'm not sure. They was like, you know, they say I have a wife and they say I have some children and you know. And that's why I'm making this video, you know. Because, you know, they told me so much crazy stuff that, you know, if I have a wife that can hear this video, if I have children that can hear this video, if I have family that can hear this video, this is for you. Because they did something to the phone and I haven't been able to make phone calls, you know. I noticed, you know, like some hours ago that something was wrong with the phone, you know. They said, you know, if you bullied Brandon, is what they said. They said on Brandon, they said if you bullied Brandon and you did stuff to him, like whether you was at the hospital or whether you was a police officer or whether you was a business owner, and if you put the scars on my body, and if you participated in abusing me or using me for blood or plasma or bone marrow or some kind of Masonic system or order of saying that I didn't earn enough or it wasn't my turn yet. And if you told the other people to participate in that system and in that order and was saying it was levels and ranks and that it wasn't my turn yet, they said you are guilty. And if it cost you your life and if it cost you your soul because of some guy and something that you did wrong, it's not my fault, you know, is what I was told, you know. And I'm just telling you what I was told, you know. This is not a threat to anyone. It's just me talking and speaking in a way for my God being able of knowing what I said. They said if somebody was like a monitor or a watcher and stuff like that, and for every time I was locked up, for every second I was in jail, for every time I was abused as a child, for every time somebody did something to me or my family or any of that stuff, for every time that somebody, tried to use me and they took advantage of me being stupid and not knowing what was going on, it was like, it's your mess that you made. They said that when I got here, I wasn't supposed to earn or work my way up to a certain level. They said, I am me. And if you said that I wasn't worthy and I haven't earned enough and it wasn't my turn yet, or I had to wait for somebody else, or you was going to make an example out of me and stuff like that, and you did mean stuff to me. They said, if you're not part of my family, if you're not my family, if you're not my wife, if you're not my children, if you don't believe in my God and stuff like that, and if I do have a family and I do have a God and I do have a wife and I do have children, it's not my fault if a God ended the world and everybody died because, according to a book that they call the Bible, when they said something about Sodom and Gomorrah, and they said something about Abraham and Lot, I don't know Abraham and I don't know Lot, and it's not that kind of story. If you don't have evidence of telling the truth about the people that did that stuff to me, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't say yes and I can't say no if it's something I don't understand. So, they said people wanted to have their own business. People wanted to have their own family. People wanted to say they was married. People wanted to say they own land. People wanted to say they was rich. People wanted to say they was in relationships. And people said it wasn't your turn yet and that you had to wait for other folks to get stuff and build a system and build a society and stuff like that. And if it was wrong and that they did you wrong and stuff like that, and if it was a different guide or different stuff from different planets, and if they was going to take over the world and the world was going to end, if you didn't say yes or no. Since I don't understand any of that stuff, I'm not saying yes or no. So I guess they shouldn't have did whatever they did to me for their own business, for their own land. Talking about elders and talking about it wasn't my turn yet. This is for my children. If I have children, because they say I have children, but then somebody tried to say I did not. This is for my wife, They played a name game, so I'm not sure, if they was using the right name. But my wife knows who she is. And if it was other people, that tried to make me look like a sex offender or a child molester, or and if it was other people that tried to make me look like a criminal or guilty of a crime, if it was other people that tried to make me look homeless, if it was other people that tried to get me murdered, if it was other people that yelled at me and screamed at me and was doing it for another man or another woman or another person or whatever, and they tried to sell me out or they tried to do bad stuff to me, I don't know what's gonna happen because I'm not God. I'm not my God. And they don't tell me everything, you know. So I'm just glad for my wife and I'm just glad for my family, because, it's some people that said that, when you look at the news and they say that bad stuff was happening, it is bad stuff happening and it was bad stuff happening. It's people that say no matter where you go, you're not safe. And there is nowhere to run and there is nowhere to hide because since I didn't do anything wrong, and since I said I don't like it, what they did to me, you know, they said that if they never would have locked me up ever, if they never would have tried to give other folks businesses and other people money, and if they never would have tried to say he was the little brother, if they never would have tried to say, stuff about me, then the people from where I come from or my God, it wouldn't be this way. And since they didn't have to say that stuff about me, that it was their choice that they chose to make these bad decisions that they made, is what I was told. Family is what I was told. Wife is what I was told, for all my friends and for all the people that care about me. So I'm glad for all of my friends if you're not going to get in trouble because you didn't do none of that stuff to me. I'm glad for all of my family, the people that didn't do none of that stuff to me. I'm glad for all of the people, that didn't use me for, bad sex reasons and for other people and stuff like that, you know. So, like I was saying, it was like, since I didn't make any deals with any devils or demons or any of that stuff in exchange for my soul, they said somebody else did, and somebody else is, they said it was some people that would probably die for that kind of stuff that they did. And it's not because of me. It's because they said some of the people did it for their own business or for a job or, or for money and stuff like that. And they said bad stuff about me and stuff like that. And it was wrong when they did that stuff, I'm not making any of that stuff happen to any other people that did that stuff. I'm just not being part of it. I'm just telling the truth about, what happened. They said, the way they explained it to me, they said, when people wanted money in their own business and they wanted me to do stuff and they tried to make me do it or they tried to force me to do it and they called themselves a family, and when they did that stuff to me, it wasn't for me. When they did that stuff, it was for the people that they called their family. It was for the people that said they would give them money. It was for the people that said they would give them their own business. It was for the people that said that I was too stupid to know what was going on. And it was for the people that said, you know, they tried to predict the future and said he would probably want to do it anyway, or he would probably want something. And it was like, everybody didn't do that. It was like some of the people said, Brandon said the world ain't worth it and the world would just end and everybody would die, even him. But he wouldn't really care because since he has a marriage license and he never did nothing bad to his wife and he never did nothing bad to his children, he don't have to be scared. It's the other people that you don't really know what's going to happen to them. And they can't really do nothing at this point because they in so much trouble that, they said that, they said that, they had something to do with my wife not being here. They said they had something to do with my children not being here. They said they had something to do about me being in jail and stuff like that. A lot. They said it was some people that said they was part of a church and stuff like that. It was like any other people that said they was part of the church where I was abused at. If they don't tell the truth about what they did, if it was a setup and stuff like that, and all of that kind of stuff is what they said, you know, is why a lot of people is mad, is what they said. A lot of people mad about that stuff. So since I'm talking, about, what I heard people say, and since something seemed to be wrong with the phone in the room, they said, I can say whatever I want to say, talking, to who I think is my children, talking to who I think is my wife, because if she's not here and they are not here, and the only way that I can talk to them is over this phone in a YouTube video because something seemed to be wrong, with the phone in his room, then they're not supposed to be spying on me, or using, my personal phone calls, and telling me what I can or can't say to my wife or to my children, about how I feel. So, I don't know if other people can see the video or whatever because, it's on YouTube and on the internet. But since I said I'm talking to my wife and I'm talking to my children about what I heard and about what I think, people said you can talk to your wife about whatever you want, or Brandon. You can talk to your children about whatever you want, or Brandon. Or about whatever you think, or about whatever you feel, or about whatever you heard, or about whatever, you believe. It's just talking, because it was like, if your children are not here and your wife is not here, then the only way that I guess you can talk to them, or at least try talking to them, is, making a video and putting it on the internet, on a YouTube page with your name on it, the name that's on your birth certificate, so they'll know how you feel and know what's going on. And they'll know that, it's not me doing any other bad stuff. And a lot of people said that, it was at different times. A lot of people said they shouldn't have did that stuff that they did to you, Brandon. Because if they don't know where you come from, or if they don't know what your God is, or how many of them it is, or, if they call them aliens and angels or demons or bad stuff, and if they were saying they don't believe in your God, and if they were saying they don't care about your God and stuff, and if they locked you up and did all this stuff to you that many times, what if it's nothing that, anyone could do about what would end up happening to everybody because of what they did? So it was like some people, that was telling me stuff like that, and I don't really know, because since it was not my idea, I guess, just because you have a gun probably is not a good enough reason to use it. Just because you got handcuffs, probably not a good enough reason to use it. Just because, you say you can get me locked up, probably not a good enough reason to do it. Just because you say that you can beat me up, probably not a good enough reason to do it. Just because you say you had more money than me or different stuff, probably not a good enough reason to have ever tried to have sex with my wife. The people that did that stuff, but it was like every time that you got locked up, Brandon, they separated you from your wife, because how can you be with your wife when you was locked up? If it was some people that said that, according to religion and spirituality and different kind of stuff about God, that people would have to pay with their life or with their soul according to a religion, is the way some people were saying, or some kind of spirituality, it was like, then they probably shouldn't have did that stuff or whatever. Because, they was like, some people act like they didn't want me to have a wife. Some people act like they didn't want me to have a child or a family. Some people act like they wanted me to be part of some other religion or some other God or some other way of doing stuff. And some people acting like they wanted me to say yes or no to the mess that they made. And I don't know why they did that stuff, Yeah, the screen had just went off. So, are you there, family? Are you there, wife? So, it was like, and it was like, it's people that got in trouble because you see how I'm talking to my wife and how I'm talking to my family. It was some people that tried to say, you can't say that or you can't do that stuff, or they got mad. I'm like, you can't tell me what I can say to my wife. You can't tell me what I can say to my children. And it was some people that, tried to tell me what I can say and what I can't say. And I was like, I was trying to help you when I was telling you that, is what, I was telling people, because I was like, they said it's a God. And if you try to tell me what, if you try to tell me I can't say this and I can't say that, they said that, people could die because they said it was a guy that said that, you know, you can't tell me what to do or say with my wife, you know, because they said those people are not my God. And they said that's what the problem seemed to be or whatever, because it was like, you know, they said you can't really lock him up because that's what they in trouble for doing now, is what they said about me. They said they already in trouble for every time that they locked me up because it's evidence that I never did nothing wrong and it was never a victim. And they said they got to pay for every time they did that stuff. And they was like, paying with money is not enough. It was like, money can't buy my time. They was like, you know, if somebody tried to have sex with the same girl that I was having sex with, you know, she might have a way out of it. But the people that tried to have sex with her, you know, they was like, it's not the same for them. They said if somebody tried to say that I cheated on my wife and stuff like that or whatever, if somebody tried to say, you know, that I did bad stuff to anybody, since I did not do any of that stuff, you know, and somebody tried to set me up and stuff like that, they say it's people that know that they tried to set me up, and it's people that know what they did, and that, you know, that they was in trouble for doing that stuff because they said they don't believe in my God, you know, and they said they don't think it's real or whatever, and they said that, you know, they weren't scared of me, and they said they weren't scared of my God, and they said that they don't believe in none of that stuff that I was saying and stuff like that, and that they was going to have a business anyway. They said they was going to have sex anyway. They said they was going to have a family anyway. They said that they was going to try to take my wife and take my children from me anyway. I mean, you would know that, because if you're the children, then you know that, you know, they had put you in a family court case and put you in a cage is what they did. And, you know, if you're my wife, if you're listening, then, you know, it was people that they tried to, you know, say bad stuff about you, and they tried to make me think bad thoughts about you, and they tried to make you look like a bad person. And if you have a God and I have a God and it's 3 children and they have a God, and, you know, and if there are different kinds of gods from different places, and if it's nothing that anyone can do to stop, you know, whatever's going to happen to this world for what they did to us, then maybe they shouldn't have done what they did to us. Because, well, you know, I don't believe in what they believe in. You know, they say that's a different God. They say, you know, our God said that, you know, when you do bad stuff to us, you never get out of trouble. When he don't see his wife, you never get out of trouble. When I don't see my children, you never get out of trouble. When you lock me up one time, you never get out of trouble. When you say you had sex with the same girl that I had sex with, you never get out of trouble. And they say I don't have to say or do anything about it because, you know, when they did something wrong, they did that bad stuff to themselves. So they say, you know, everybody didn't do it, Brandon. I don't really know what everybody did because, you know, I never met everybody before. You know, I haven't been to every state or every country or every city or every town. So, you know, I don't know what everybody did. So, I don't know if it's true what everyone said that stuff. I don't know if it's true if all of the voices that I heard, was good or bad. And I don't know if it's true, if what I think or what I feel is, how it's going to be. But I was just letting that they told me that, that sometimes people said it was a long time ago, and then sometimes people said that it wasn't everybody, and it was like sometimes people said, but they had their own family and they had their own problems to worry about and stuff like that. And I was told that it doesn't work that way with my guy. You don't get to say you got your own problems and your own family to worry about, and that it was other stuff going on. I was told that you don't get to say or do that kind of stuff. I was told that if you ever tried to separate me from my wife at all, that you never get out of trouble. If you tried to make her be with you instead of me, you never get out of trouble, is what I was told. If you tried to have sex with my wife ever, even before I had a marriage license, even if her name is not the name on the marriage license, I was told you never get out of trouble, is what I was told, because, I was told my God knows the future. And it all of this time was time for people to tell the truth about what they did to me and to stop doing it. But it was people that said they was going to keep doing it, and they didn't believe in it stuff. And then, they say they don't really talk about it on the news, and they don't really talk about it on the internet, and they don't really talk about it on the TV because, they say they don't want people to be scared of what's going on or whatever. But they was like, you can tell what's going on because they be like, all the stuff and everything seem to be messed up and falling apart everywhere. They just don't really say that on TV or on the news or on the internet because, they want to look rich and they want to, I don't really know what they want to do. You can tell they want to look rich though because, saying that they got their own TV show or their own business or calling themselves a star or a celebrity or famous and stuff like that. It seems like they want to look rich or whatever. So, I was told that, I'm not supposed to want any kind of, attachment to any of the bad stuff that they got going on, because, they said that, I don't have to say anything, is what I was told. They said it was people that can see, and it's stuff that they don't even know what it is that they call aliens or UFOs. And then, I don't know how they do it, but they was like, they saw every time that I got locked up or that I went to jail, and they saw every time that, that they used me for blood or bone marrow, or they saw and they heard the people's talking about what they was going to do to me and saying that they don't like me. And that, it was some people that was talking about another world and stuff like that. And that if everybody died, I wouldn't have to worry about it because, I would go somewhere else and they would be in trouble for what they did just to be famous and just to have their own business and just to say they had sex with my wife and just for calling themselves a family and trying to act like they was in relationships and stuff like that is the reason that I was told that they would be in trouble for doing that stuff or whatever and they tried to make me look like the bad guy and they tried to make me feel bad. is what I was told, So, for my family, for my wife, and I'm not sure, how they be spelling the names different, or different people be saying that's not him or that's not her. So, I'm not saying any names because I don't want to call you the wrong name, and I don't want to, I don't know if anybody, I'm not really sure of how many people lied about their identity or who they was or what they said. But they was like, what do they call them, gods or aliens or UFOs or angels or demons? They was like, it's people that know exactly what happened. And since I won't say yes or no, because I'm not that smart, it was like, a lot of people might die and the world might end. So it was like, none of the people, that said that, none of the people told me about what was going on. And it was like, you weren't supposed to do a lot of stuff, that the other people did. And it was like, it was like someone's dad tried to act like they was God, and someone's mom tried to act like they was God, is what they said. They said somebody's husband tried to act like they was God. And they said somebody's wife tried to act like they was God. They said somebody tried to say they was a king, and somebody tried to say they was a queen. And they said somebody tried to act like they was, I don't know if there was anyone's husband or wife or baby mama or baby daddy, but they said it was some people that was having sex, and I don't know if it was a man or a woman or, I don't know what kind of gender it was, but it was like, it was more than one person, and they tried to act like they was God or something. And they tried to act like, you know, they tried to get me to do something, and I'm not really sure what it is, but they was like, that's why the world would probably end and everybody would probably die, is what I was told, because, somebody listened to them instead of listening to me. And that they said if I don't save them or do something about it, that everybody would die. So, I'm not sure if, they were good or if they were bad or who they were or how they talk or how they do that stuff that they do. But, since I don't want to get in trouble, that's why I tell my children and I tell my wife and I tell my family and my friends, what they said. And I had told some people about that before too. I told them, they said that them people that I said wasn't supposed to have businesses, they wasn't supposed to have businesses. And it don't matter how much work you put in or how long you been doing it or what you had planned. It was like everybody would die for you doing that stuff, is, what somebody told me. And it was like, yeah, it was here in making too. It was like, it's the people that was at the Making Inn Hotel. It's the people that was here at the Riverview Hotel at 205 Macon, Georgia Riverview Hotel. It's the people that was at 1044 Riverside Drive. It was like, it's the people that say they're the owners of these businesses. They was like, that's who the people is mad at. And, since I'm here, I'm a witness. It's like the people that say they didn't want to lose their job and stuff like that, so they didn't tell on them. It's some people that said they didn't care if they lose their job or whatever, that their job wasn't worth it. And it was somebody that was talking about making a lot of jobs for people and stuff like that. Or whatever. And like they the ones who did it. That's what all this stuff happening. Cause it was like, it was like, the people that tried to have businesses wasn't supposed to have businesses because they was being mean to us and doing bad stuff. And, When they said they was a police officer, they locked me up. When they said they had their own business, you know, they tried to make me look like a bad person, or they was mean to me, or they stole stuff from me. When they said that they made a lot of jobs and stuff like that, they made a lot of trouble for people too, because it was like some of the people, was doing bad stuff, and it was like some of the people had told people to do bad stuff, and I never did. So they was like, it was the people that, they're scared to die because, I don't know why. I guess because they know they did something wrong. And they said it was people that said that they was judges and police officers and doctors and stuff like that. And it was people that said that they worked at family courts that took people children and stuff like that. They said those children had souls and spirits, and that they believed in different gods, and whether you call them aliens and stuff like that. They said that if the world is not worth it, they said it was people that could, end the world, and that everybody would die, and that different people would go to different places, and that, it wasn't worth it to do that stuff to all of them people, is, the way it was told to me. So, this was a phone call, since it wasn't no other way to use the phone or whatever, because, and since they're not talking about it on the TV or the news, or it's not a lot of videos on the internet about what I'm saying, they was like, if a person say they my family, and I didn't tell you they my family, then, if a person said that, stuff like that or whatever, they probably shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff like that, because they was like, it's nothing that anyone could do, to make me say yes or no. So if it was about me saying yes or no, or the world would end, they was like, then I guess the world would end. And if you don't believe in it, or if you do believe in it, it doesn't really matter. Because if that's the way it is, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It's the way I was told. It was like, it's nothing that you can do to change the truth. It's the way they told me. It was like, I was sexually abused. I have a marriage license, and people did stuff to me, and I don't like it. And there's some people that say, just because I don't like it, a lot of people can get in trouble. But then I guess a lot of people would get in trouble because I don't like it. So I'm not sure who would get in trouble. I'm not sure why they did what they did, but it was like, I was never supposed to be in a car accident. My thigh wasn't never supposed to get cut open. They said they was never supposed to take my bone marrow. Nobody was never supposed to fight me or beat me up. Nobody was never supposed to lock me up. Nobody was never supposed to get me to do bad stuff. Nobody was never supposed to trigger me to fight them and then try to make me look like a bad person. Nobody was never supposed to set me up for other people to take advantage of me. It was like nobody was never supposed to use me in those bad ways for their sister or for their brother or for their family, talking about being a family. It was like all of this stuff was wrong that they did. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. And I don't like it. So it was like, it was not about me getting a turn, and it was not about it not being my chance yet. It was like, there's no such thing as elders or ranks or a Masonic system or an order of doing stuff. If I said I don't like it, and they say the world would end and everybody would die for it, then they shouldn't have ever made that order or that system or whatever, because I never did. So I don't know which Masonic order or which system or what kind of levels they was talking about. But if everybody died and that's what they said would happen, I told. So you know it's not because of me. Because if they was doing this stuff way before I got here, it's not because of me if bad stuff happened, you know. So, you know, I told the children and I told my wife,